Lads, lassies, welcome back to the YouTube. I hope you're all having a lovely beginning of summer, or I suppose it's spring now. So yesterday, out of interest, I put up a poll on my Instagram just to see kind of what people watch YouTube for. Is it fun and entertainment, or is it also to do with actually progressing, tips and advice for getting your wakeboarding better? And surprisingly, the majority of people really wanted progress videos. So over the next few weeks and months and throughout the summer, we're going to do progress videos over the cable on the boat. And yeah, the first one is now, and I think a really good fundamental one to learn is a 360 on the cable. So from the very beginning on the water to then doing it off a kicker, let's say, for example. So that's what we're going to do in this video, and this is basically what we're going to go from to what we want to get to. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about the 360, what is the first thing you need to know? Okay, so we're going to break this down into 3 large steps. So obviously the fundamentals to this are that you can do a full lap of the cable, and of course that you can maybe ride normal and switch. Now my biggest tip, if you can't ride switch, is to practice it. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't ride switch, and I'm like, well, how often do you do it? And inevitably it's not that much. So put in the graft and ride switch and try and be able to do a full lap switch. Then at that point, I'm assuming you can do surface 1As back and forth, you're really comfortable, and that's definitely the fundamentals to it. Step number 2 is actually about doing the 360. Now whether you're right foot forward or left foot forward, it's completely up to you, but generally speaking, the easiest spin is a frontside spin. So let's say, for example, I am right foot forward. The easiest spin is to do the 180 where you're facing the cable first and then go into the kind of backwards 180. So that's definitely the easiest thing. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to do it right foot forward because of the way the cable is set up, and also because I actually am right foot forward on the board. And if you're left foot forward, then basically just do the mirror opposite. Okay, so how do you actually do the surface 360? So the first thing you want to do is you want to start by looking up at the cable, and you want to do this maybe just to the right hand side. So you don't want to do it directly under it, and you almost want to cut out on your heels, flatten off, keeping your head up. You want to effectively pull your back hip up with 2 hands. A lot of people will take that front hand off and go reaching, but you don't want to do that. You want to pull 2 hands, and then as you get to this point, you want to make sure to put the weight on your toes. This is going to stop you getting a back edge, and as you spin around, weight on your toes, reach for the handle and grab it. Now, the big thing that I often see people doing is they'll take that hand off too early, and they'll either forget to put their weight on their toes and get a back edge, or they'll maybe try and lean forward and then they're like this, and they're looking for the rope there behind them. So make sure to stay strong, keep strong at the hips. If you're going to do any bending, it's bend the knees, not the hips. So just to recap on that, you want to pull the 2 hands up to the handle, reach around, weight on your toes, stay strong at the hips, and pass the handle. You can actually practice this by just getting like a bottle of milk tied to a rope and just spinning it around. You look like a weirdo, but it's worth it. Now that you've mastered this on the water, you can do it loads. It's not that difficult for you. The next step, in my opinion, is doing it on some sort of box. Now, this completely depends on your cable. Luckily here, we've got a nice, long, very mellow box that we're going to learn it on. Just like on the water, you want to cut out to it nice and easy, no rash movements, everything's very, very simple, very placid. Then as you get up onto it, make sure you're on top of it, you're settled. Once you feel like, yeah, this is a good hit, I'm going to make it to the end, exactly the same, nothing changes. It's actually easier on the box at this point. 2 hands up, hip there, reach around, but at this point the key is you don't want to lean on your toes, you want to stay flat on both feet, roll around, handle, keeping the head up. And as you come out of it, a good tip is to not actually look up to the carrier, but just look to the far shore in front of you, as that will stop you spinning. Number 3 is then actually learning this off the kicker. Now this can vary massively from cable park to cable park. So here, again, if you're right foot forward, we have this tiny little kicker which is perfect for it. Super low impact, super mellow. However, if you have a bigger kicker, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Let's say you're really lucky, you're like us, you've got a small kicker. Again, it's the same thing. You cut out to it nice and gradually, again, taking a really mellow edge. Then as you get onto the kicker, it's really important that you have to get onto the kicker first. As you're on the kicker, at that point, you don't want to try and spin on the kicker, but you want to at least initiate the movement on the way up. Then once you're in the air, exact same again, reach around with 2 hands, hand up, keep your head up, look to the far shore, and then just really remember to bend those knees. And there you go. You've gone from never been doing a surface 360 to doing a 360 off the kicker. Now obviously, I've said that in a very quick manner. This can take weeks, months, and even years for some people, but just remember to not get too frustrated with it. Enjoy it, because it is quite fun actually learning, and when you do get it, you're like absolutely buzzing. So yeah, just take your time with it, enjoy it, and if you have any questions, let us know down below. And if you see a question below that you might know the answer to, then feel free to give that person some tips. And yeah, just enjoy wakeboarding, and if you do land it, tag me on Instagram, as I'd love to see it. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know what tutorials you'd like to see in the near future, and we'll make sure to try and make it happen. And yeah, thanks again for watching.